The Rays wrapped up their trip to Toronto with an extra inning win yesterday, keyed by Evan Longoria's RBI single in the 10th. Tonight, Joe Maddon's Chargers arrive in the Charm City to open a pivotal 4-game set versus Adam Jones and the AL East leading Baltimore Orioles. Tonight, the road trip continues. We greet you just steps from the Inner Harbor in Baltimore at Camden Yards, where the Rays and the Baltimore Orioles will open a 4-game series and in a picture-perfect day for baseball. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Rays Baseball with Brian Anderson. I'm Dwayne Statz. So good to have you looking in. We'll be joined by Todd Callis as well. Great pitching matchup here in the opening game of what will be a 4-game series. Jake Odorizzi is on the hill for the Rays, continuing to be the model of consistency. And tonight, he's trying to move into double figures in the win column.
Yeah, and Jake Odorizzi got off to a slow start this season pitching on the road. But as he started to turn around his season, the confidence started to build. He has started to turn around those road numbers. Look what he's done his last 5 times out there. A 4-0 record, a 2.45 earned run average. You know, his stuff will travel, and it travels better now because he has the ability to miss bats. And he will try to do that with that fastball, elevated fastball, that changeup that has been improving each and every month. Good curveball, good slider. On the other side, Chris Tillman. This guy has been very good since early June, but I'll tell you something. In August, he has taken it to another level. 4 starts, 3-0 record. Look at the earned run average. He's pitching deep into games, averaging over 7 innings a start, and in 28 2/3 innings in August, 2 walks to go along with 25 strikeouts. Right now, Chris Tillman has it all working.
Yeah, it was just a little over 24 months ago when he was recalled from the minor leagues, and since that point, he has emerged as perhaps the mainstay in the Baltimore Orioles pitching rotation. 2 starts against the Rays this year, 1-0 with a 2.57 earned run average. You saw Evan Longoria there a moment ago. He will be the DH in the Rays lineup. Vin Zobrist will be in center field. Rays and the Orioles right around the corner. welcome you back to Orioles Park at Camden Yards. The Rays and the Orioles continue their season series. We'll take a look at the starting lineup presented by your Southern Ford dealers. The Rays will have Ben Zobrist in center field and leading off. More on that later. Matt Joyce in left with Evan Longoria, the DH. James Loney, Will Myers, and Logan Forsythe down the middle of Joe Maddon's lineup with Yunel Escobar at short. Jose Molina will hit 8th, and Sean Rodriguez bats 9th. He's at third base.
Well, and no easy task tonight going up against the right-hander Chris Tillman, making his 28th start of the season, one complete game. Won his 10th game his last time out. That was against the Chicago White Sox, and he did that with style. I mean, 8 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 9 strikeouts. The second season that he's been able to put together double-digit win seasons. And we talked about it in the open, how well he's been throwing in August. It's a 4-pitch arsenal for Tillman. The fastball, curveball, changeup, slider, and he mixes them very well. Now let's take a look at the defense as it lines up tonight for the Baltimore Orioles. Brought to you by Gold and Diamond Source. In the outfield, left to right, Delman Young, Adam Jones, and Nick Markakis. Across the infield, third to first, Chris Davis, J.J. Hardy, Jonathan Scope, and Steve Pearce. Nick Hundley will handle the catching duties.
So the 26-year-old right-hander all set to go to work, and Ben Zobrist in the leadoff spot, about to step in. Been playing center field tonight for the first time since September the 22nd of 2010 against the New York Yankees. Making the start out there tonight. And the first pitch of this game presented by Pinch a Penny, and it's a strike on the inside corner. We are underway.
Some different looks for both teams. You've got Zobrist out in center field. You've got Chris Davis right now playing third base for the Orioles.
Pitch wide, 1-1.
And he figures to see more and more time over there at third base as long as Steve Pearce can continue to swing a hot bat, which he's doing that right now.
Two and one. Well, Joe Maddon yesterday had decided to give Desmond Jennings the day off. And with that, Kevin Kiermaier came out of yesterday's game a little banged up. So he's not in the lineup. 2-2 now to Zobrist. So by process of elimination, Ben Zobrist was a little surprised when he got to the ballpark today and saw that he was in center field.
You know, you might think, listen, with Kiermaier having to come out, maybe you put Desmond back in there, but Joe just did not want to go back on his word.
Ground ball headed toward the middle, backhanded by Scope, and the throw got him. Oh, what a play by Scope at second base.
Did not think that they had a chance. And you're right, Dwayne. That was a heck of a play. A ball that looked like it was going to get up the middle or at the very minimum be beat out by Ben Zobrist. But Scope gets it. Strong throw across the body. Just in time.
Scoop and stretch by Pearce on the receiving end. And a great play by the young infielder, Jonathan Scope.
Scoop for Scope.
And then some. Now Matt Joyce. Matt with a pretty good run of success against Tillman. So he's up in the number 2 spot in the Rays lineup. 7 of 27 and 4 extra base hits among the 7 total hits, including 2 home runs, along with a double and a triple.
And speaking of 2 home runs, the last time that Matt Joyce played in a game here at Camden Yards, he went 5 for 6 with 2 home runs, and what was a 12-7 Rays win.
3-0 the count.
And you get the feeling that the Rays are going to have to do at minimum what they did the last time they were here, and that was win 3 out of 4.
3-0 here. The Orioles put a shift on. And he takes a strike. Well, the Orioles 3 days ago had a 9-game lead in the AL East They were swept by the Cubs at Wrigley Field, so they come into this one 6 up in the East. The Rays 7.5 back in the wild card. Ground ball, and Hardy out of the shift is right there on the first base side of second.
Well, that's why you do it. And Matt Joyce, with the count in his favor, much more apt to pull the ball, and that's exactly the odds that Baltimore played, and it worked out for him. J.J. Hardy, the shortstop, playing up the middle second base. Yeah, how about that last road trip for Baltimore? They went into Chicago
and stayed forever.
They were there for a week.
Played the White Sox and then the Cubs.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a great deal if you can get it.
That is an awesome deal. I saw that and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So you just pile into your hotel, you go south, play 3 games, head north, play 3 games. Those didn't go very well for them.
No, when they went north, they actually went south and lost 3 in a row. A little breaking ball that stays up.
And then some.
So it's a ball and a strike count to Longoria. Up again with an attempt at the breaking pitch. So a couple of those, and not a lot of snap on them at this point. High fly ball, right field toward right center. Markakis makes the catch, and the Rays are up and down 1, 2, 3. Bottom of the first coming, no score. Bottom of the first inning. Rays up and down 1, 2, 3. Here is the Baltimore lineup presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Nick Markakis, who's been struggling recently, leads off. Steve Pearce, on the other hand, hitting up a storm. Hits number 2 in front of Adam Jones. Then you get to Nelson Cruz. Former Ray Delman Young is in left, hitting 5th in front of J.J. Hardy. Chris Davis 7th, with Nick Hundley catching, hitting 8th. Jonathan Scope, the second baseman, bats 9th.
Well, and Jake Odorizzi will have the task of trying to corral this Baltimore lineup. He's on for his 26th start of the season, looking to get in double digits in wins at 9 and 10 and even up that record. Of his last 3 outings, he's gone 19 2/3 innings, just 3 walks, 23 strikeouts. Continues to run high strikeout numbers, and now is improving in the free passes. That will only lead to good things for Jake.
And here's Nick Markakis about to step in to lead it off. He's 0 for his last 20, dating back to the 19th of this month. And the first pitch to him is in there, a strike.
And he hasn't had a hit in his last 5 games, and that's only something that's happened to him 3 times in his career. He's gone as many as 5 games without a hit.
And it's 0-2.
There's a tip-off.
Yep.
You talk about having your strike zone well defined and not expand. Here he expands with just one strike on him. That pitch was not even close.
He taps it foul. Yeah, that's the problem if you're in a slump and other teams know it and they know it straight away. It's tough to get good pitches to hit.
Because they don't need to.
That's exactly right.
And pitchers are talented enough and good enough that they can miss just by a little bit.
And so as the frustrated hitter goes from game to game, he just digs that hole a little deeper because he starts chasing pitches out of the zone, out of the strike zone and out of his hitting zone.
And that's the fine line that you walk, because to get out of a slump, you want to swing your way out of a slump, but you do too much of it and you'll never get out of it, because like you said, you just expand, and instead of having the normal strike zone to work with and force the pitcher out over the plate, you start adding a few inches to the left, a few inches in, a few of those, maybe a foot down. That's a huge zone. You're not going to be able to hit very consistently swinging at those pitches.
1-2 the count, and he got him. So a strikeout here of Markakis, who continues to struggle, and Odorizzi, who is 9th in the American League total in strikeouts, just chalked up another one.
10.10 per 9 innings. And this split right here, the depth is as impressive as we've seen from Jake Odorizzi. We've seen that pitch getting better and better and better as the season's gone on, but that is as much depth as we've ever seen on any given changeup. That was tremendous.
It's really been fun to watch his season progress.
Yep.
From spring training on, when he was competing for a job in the rotation and working on that pitch, and to see one as good as that one was to Markakis, boy, what a great pitch that has turned out to be in a relative short amount of time.
Oh, and then he can work that. You know, we know that he likes to elevate the four-seam fastball, and so you can work that pitch for strikes, elevate with it, play the split off of that with that depth. That is just a nasty combination. And oh, by the way, I still have the slow curve and the slider that you have to think about.
Well, you play the high-low game with these hitters and give them so much to think about, and then they take a pitch for a strike.
2-0. I mean, Steve Pearce is on a 7-game hitting streak right now. Swinging the bat very, very well. You see the season numbers. 80 games. That's outstanding.
Lifts it toward the left field line. Joyce has time to get over there into foul territory. 2 gone.
Well, let's take a look at the Rays defense as it lines up tonight. Brought to you by Gold and Diamond Source. In the outfield, left to right, Matt Joyce, Ben Zobrist, and Will Myers. Across the infield, third to first, Sean Rodriguez, Yanel Escobar, Logan Forsythe, and James Loney. Jose Molina back behind the plate.
And here is Adam Jones. He's 9th in the league in home runs. And he's had a good year against Rays pitching. Hitting .298 with 3 of those home runs off Rays pitchers. Strike 1.
Hey, that's what you're going to see an awful lot from Adam Jones. 3 strikes, and he wants to use all 3 swings if necessary, and they are aggressive. He does not walk much. I think he's got 16 walks this year. Only 25 all of last year. So it'll be a race to see if he can get to 25.
And he always has a ton of plate appearances.
Oh,
I mean, he hits up in the lineup.
Yep.
Good hitting ballpark. He gets a lot of at bats.
And for being so aggressive, he continues to be productive.
A 2-strike count on the Baltimore center fielder.
And I like the look that he's going with tonight.
It's a great look, you know. And if you see him from behind with that look and with the strike showing, it looks like a St. Louis Browns uniform. Into center field, it's going to drop for a base hit. So Jones makes the turn and holds.
How about the adjustment made by Adam Jones right there? Jake Odorizzi's changeup has been very good here in the first inning. He swung and missed at 2 of them. And then with 2 strikes, watch him just follow this pitch down and get underneath it. That's pretty hitting.
Yeah, that's good hitting right there. So a 2-out single gets the major league leader in home runs to the plate. Nelson Cruz with 34.
Look at those numbers against the Rays. They have pitched him very tough and will have to continue to do so.
Strike 1 to Cruz. You see in the American League tops, and that's also tops in the major leagues. Jose Abreu with 33, right on the heels of Nelson Cruz. One and one. High fly ball to right, where Will Myers is stationed tonight. He makes the catch. 2-out single and a man left. We go to the second, no score. Baseball on Sun Sports is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. By Checkers, big Philly flavor, small price. Checkers Philly cheesesteak and the new chicken Philly, each just $1.99. And by Bert Smith Volkswagen, Tampa Bay's home of driving excitement. Visit BertSmithVW.com. Chris Tillman on the hill. Native of Southern California, born in Anaheim. Here's James Loney to face him. Ground ball to Scope. 1 pitch and 1 out in the second inning.
Well, Tillman, not a huge ground ball guy, just barely over 50-50. But he does use his defense. He's not a huge strikeout guy. Had 114 strikeouts and 164 2/3 innings coming in. Now at 166.
And here's Will Myers, who since coming off the disabled list has been plagued with the strikeout a bit and a lot of call third strikes. And he takes a look at this one. That's a strike.
And that's where we see pitchers going after Will Myers. Going right down in a way. That seems to be the spot that they are most comfortable attacking him and have the most success.
10 strikeouts since coming off the DL. 9 of those looking.
Well, you know, Joe Madden did kind of intimate that it's going to be tough for him. He didn't have that many games down in AAA, and you're coming up and facing pitchers that are better than midseason form. And they're out there spinning their craft, and you're still trying to get your timing down at the big league level. That is extremely difficult to do. And Will Myers, with as strong of a swing and as aggressive as he is, he's prone to the strikeout anyway.
Yeah, we talked about that the other night in the minor leagues. Just a little over 20. Well, there's a ground ball to short and a good strong throw by Hardy. And Will Myers is out of there. Yeah, he had 7 rehab starts and just 24 at bats in the minor leagues, and that's not quite enough.
No, that's 24 at bats against minor league pitching. That's not nearly as refined as big league pitching. And now you're coming up and you're stepping into a situation where he came right up and started playing against teams that needed to win. So they are coming right after you with everything they got. And it's been a little bit of a struggle getting back into the swing of things.
Logan Forsythe takes a strike. One and one to Logan. Forsythe getting the start at second base. He's now made 60 starts, more at second by far than any place else. 44 starts at second base for Forsythe. Two and one. Lifts it into center, and in comes Jones. 1, 2, 3. 2 ground balls and a fly ball. No score. We go to the bottom of the second. HD by H.H. Gregg. Rays fans dropping by here to see the opening game of the 4-game series. We do see more and more of that. I think this year more than ever, as the Rays make the circuit.
And this is a popular destination. Not that far away. Great ballpark in a great area.
Always fun around the Inner Harbor. And this ballpark really the forerunner of the return to baseball parks having their own personality. Here's Delman Young. Strike one to Delman.
Tell you something, I've just not seen this kind of depth on the changeup from Odorizzi. It's been a good pitch for him, don't get me wrong, but tonight, early on, it's the kind of pitch you can tip off. I'm throwing this. What are you going to do about it?
Well, 2 balls and a strike. Well, we can see what a difference the ability to incorporate that pitch and occasionally that slow curve that he started to get into the mix.
And I think as this changeup has gotten better and better, that curveball has started to take a back seat.
And if it's as good as it is tonight, with good reason. You know, we were talking yesterday about Chris Archer and how he doesn't get to that changeup because things are working out well. Fastball, slider. Same situation now with that curveball for Odorizzi, and he's used it a lot for a first pitch strike. He just walked Delman Young, however.
Now this is the one area where Jake Odorizzi has been very, very good all season long. Leading off an inning, he's holding the opposition to a .201 average and just an on-base percentage of .257. And when you can keep it down that low and retire that leadoff hitter, you put yourself in great position to get out of that inning unscathed. Unfortunately here, a leadoff walk doesn't do it often, and those usually come back and bite you.
First pitch to J.J. Hardy is a strike. One and one.
The only thing about this Baltimore team is they're not the best at manufacturing runs. They don't run. They don't steal many bases. In fact, they have the fewest stolen bases, the fewest attempts in all of baseball. Not even close.
Yeah, they don't run. They don't walk. They're up there ready to put the ball into play.
It's a power play. That's what it is. And, you know, they're even further down the list. You look at doubles. They're 11th in the American League in doubles, but they lead Major League Baseball with 163 home runs. That is what their game has been built around. And that's a risky way to go through an entire season.
Hardy pops it up. Saloni making the catch. So Odorizzi had Hardy reaching for that one and popped him up.
I've actually been impressed with what Baltimore's been able to do, how consistent they've been playing all season long, considering that they only score runs one way. I didn't think that you'd be able to do it for that long. Now, they did run into some trouble in that Cubs series where, you know, they scored in 3-game series. They scored 4 runs on 13 hits. That's it for the series.
And that's the kind of series that, if you're an Orioles fan, would concern you.
Sure.
Because you could run into a series or two where that could be the case. The strike. And if you look at what they've done with men in scoring position, their average with men in scoring position has outperformed their team average about 15 points. Well, normally speaking, over a period of time, that would get closer and closer together.
If not go under.
Yeah.
Right.
Davis, a big cut. They fouls it back. So you can see how a team that would be aggressive, all about hitting its way on. You know, the Tigers are that way. They want to swing the bat. This team is like that, the Orioles. A lot of production, a lot of runs, and a lot of runs in a small amount of time sometimes. And you're always concerned about running into a series or two where that offense struggles.
And Chicago Cubs, it's not like they're putting out a pitching staff that is, they're world beaters, and they pitched them to the tune of giving up 13 hits in 3 ball games. In fact, how about this? In that series, they only had 9 at-bats with a runner in scoring position. They hit 333, but only had 9 opportunities for the whole series. And when it goes cold like that, this is why it sets up well for the Rays, because guess what? The Rays pitching staff, they are full of world beaters, and this is not the staff to try to break out against. At least you hope so.
Pitch a little bit up to Chris Davis. And Davis has had a very difficult year. With each passing month, that batting average has dropped lower month by month. Hitting 189 overall to start the game tonight. And he's hitting just 149 for the month of August, and is out on strikes right there.
Well, just expanding his zone. We saw that the last time we came into town. Chris Davis, he just chasing everything. You can beat him down like Jake Odorizzi just did. You can beat him up above his hands. Right now, a lot of holes in that swing, and showing no signs of breaking out.
Here's the catcher, Nick Hundley. Want to know the count on Hundley. Hundley 228 with the Orioles. Between San Diego and Baltimore, he's hit 243. So look at 1 too low. 2-0. He's back to pick up a strike on the 2-0 count, so now it's 2-1. But the ability to do that is very big for Odorizzi as well, to get back into a count.
You just don't want to be predictable. That's what every pitcher tries, everything that he can to avoid. Because when you become predictable, hitters obviously are able to eliminate pitches, and now instead of having to deal with 3 or 4, they can narrow it down a lot of times to just 1. And if you're not perfect with it, it gets crushed. But when you show that ability to be able to go, that's what we talk about Joel Peralta, any pitch, any count, any time. That's what has made him so good over his career, pitching late in games without plus stuff.
And a strikeout there. 2 strikeouts back to back. 3 in the game through 2 for Odorizzi, and we have no score.
The Rays and the Orioles, you know Escobar is going to lead things off for the Rays. Last 24 hours, some rumors involving Escobar as he has claimed off-revocable waivers, it is reported, by the Oakland A's. So Joe Maddon decided he needed to meet with a shortstop prior to the game, and here's why.
Talking about it today to ameliorate his mind, have him understand that this is a baseball process. It happens to a lot of big leaguers. The difference is I'm dealing with a guy here that works a lot on emotion. So I had to make sure that Uni understood our position on it and try to get him to be able to go out there and play with a clear mind tonight. Andrew and I spoke about it, and I was able to tell him that, you know, we're very, very pleased with what he's doing. We could see him that continuing to get better with us, to not be worried about anything happening over the next day.
And Joe said he just wanted to make sure he had a little clear head about things after the rumors, and that's why he called him in, guys.
Yeah, and he's right. It is a pretty common situation where players are put on waivers. Here's a ground ball, Hardy out of the hole, and they cannot complete that play. Boy, what a great play that would have been. And Escobar is aboard with a base hit. That's the first hit of the game for the Rays. Leadoff man on in the third.
Well, they had a chance. Hardy deep in the hole. They make a strong throw. If Pierce can come up with the scoop, and he just could not. He could scoop for Scope, not for Hardy.
So he was trying to gauge where that was going to hop and whether it might get caught right on the lip there. You could see a little indecision with the mitt.
Those are those in-between hops, too. Those are so tough to gauge. You know, the one that's right out in front of you, you just almost smothered it. The one that's way out there, you've got time to react. Those in-between, do or die. That one couldn't get it done.
Molina, this one, everybody's going to be safe. Escobar is going to advance to third. Well, it appeared that the Orioles were going to somehow get a double play out of that, and the ball sailed right past Scope.
Tell you what, this Baltimore Oriole defense, maybe the best, is at least in fielding percentage in all of baseball, and they just zooed this because even with that ball off the glove of Tillman with Molina running, they absolutely would have gotten a double play here. But Scope, a little bit too quick, didn't keep his eye on that flip and just whipped it.
Well, that was a double play, and you're right, with Molina going down the line, they had a lot more time than they realized. So it'll be a fielder's choice and an error charge to Scope. And the Rays have a golden opportunity with men on the corners and nobody out in the third. John Rodriguez lifts a high popper, headed for the stands, and that's out of play.
Well, you have got to cash in here. Just an uncharacteristic mistake. The Baltimore Orioles had just 60 errors, now 61 errors. They were tied with Seattle for the fewest in the American League.
10th error charge to Scope. And Sean Rodriguez with a big opportunity. Take on the pitch upstairs. Rays have won 9 of their last 10 road series. An opportunity to take an early lead in game 1 of this series. Now 1 and 2.
Now Chris Tillman, who doesn't rack up many strikeouts, or shouldn't say doesn't rack up many, he's not a strikeout pitcher. This is where you can go for it, though. You got an aggressive swinging Sean Rodriguez. You saw it on that pitch right there, that curveball, and this is where you need the punch out.
Molina bouncing away from first base, and that catches the attention of Tillman. And not altogether a bad idea either, just to Trying to harass the pitcher a little bit.
Well, he's not being held on, and we've seen Molina try to take some bags in the past. And I'll tell you what, if Tillman's first turn was towards first base, may have gotten him. Had a shot.
And a ground ball to second. Scope, Hardy 1, first base 2. Escobar crosses the plate on the double play. The Rays break out in front with a run.
Well, and I think that the way this inning has started off for Baltimore, they would gladly take that. Rays do get a run, but Tillman gets out of trouble with one pitch.
So the bases are empty, and here's the top of the order, Ben Zobrist. First pitch is a strike. Rays 4-8 in the season series against Baltimore. They are 3-3 here. Chop right side. Pierce back to the bag to take the throw from Scope. So the Rays settle for one. We go to the bottom of the third. 1-0 Tampa Bay. Look into the Orioles dugout. Manny Machado, and the Orioles have lost him to another major injury. Southern Chevy Dealer's storyline. He's going to undergo surgery on Wednesday in Los Angeles. This time it will be on the right knee. It was the left knee last year, and here's how the injury occurred.
How about that? Just on a regular swing. Go watch that back knee just buckle right there. And you see that ankle where everything just gave way.
Yeah, that's a tough injury for Machado and the Orioles in a lot of ways. First pitch to Scope is in there for a strike. You know, we've talked about how this club has great power. They're an aggressive offensive team. There's a base hit into left by Scope. And Machado's one of those guys who's a big part of their offense, and a guy who had great success with men in scoring position consistently. Well, they're going to lose him in the short term for the rest of this season and the postseason. But you wonder about their plans for him long term and what these two injuries do to him.
I think it affects him because there was talk of them eventually moving him to shortstop, maybe cutting ties with J.J. Hardy when he becomes a free agent and moving Machado to shortstop. Now you've had 2 significant knee surgeries on each knee, or one on each, in the last year and a half, and now you're going to ask him to go play shortstop, a much more demanding position physically than third base.
Well, it certainly limits their options.
Yeah.
They also have a young infielder in the minor leagues they like a lot, but you always like to have options, and that's apparently going to limit their options. Maybe you can come back and be fine, but now you will have had both knees worked on, and you're always concerned about that.
At a young age, and seemingly, we saw that first knee injury happened against the Rays, and that one looked bad. There was a good reason for it. This one was just a swing, and that back leg just buckled. I mean, nothing out of the ordinary, something that he does every day when he's out there playing, taking batting practice, aggressive swings, and it just gave out. That's what's concerning. So young, too.
Yeah, that torque involved in this game has great effects on the body, and sometimes in places that you wouldn't be all that mindful of. There's a drive deep to right, and that's out of here. Nick Markakis breaks an 0 for 21 and belts his 12th home run of the year. Number 21 had gone 0 for 21 until that pitch, and he hits it out. And that will give Baltimore a 2-1 lead.
That was an absolute missile by Markakis. Just a fastball out over the plate, and look at him right on it. I'll tell you what, that ball jumped off the bat. Nick Markakis, long overdue. 2-runner right there.
Here's Steve Pearce taking a ball. So the Orioles come right back with a long one to take the lead. 14th home run given up by Odorizzi this year. And Markakis, one of the guys, along with Adam Jones in their lineup, who has given Odorizzi problems. Markakis is now 5 for 10 off him, and he hit that one out to give Baltimore the lead.
Well, this is Jake's 4th start against the Orioles this year. Started against them back in April, middle of June, end of June. So they have definitely, that's the one thing that's tough with this unbalanced schedule. You're playing in your division. You can get 4, 5. Sometimes guys will get 6 starts against team in their division.
Well, there's a long one off the bat of Pearce. That one's going to get out of here as well. Back-to-back home runs. That's number 15 for Pearce.
Well, it really looked as if Jake Odorizzi was settling into this game. He had the changeup working. Was good with the fastball. Had sprinkled in a couple of breaking balls. And this is what this Baltimore lineup can do. They can be quiet, and then all of a sudden, because of their power, they can explode like this. And I'll tell you something. This team, 49 now times, they have had multiple home run games, and in the first 48, their record is 38-10. They win these types of games.
Well, Pearce, what a job he has done. The Orioles just let him go, and he hung around, and because of injury came back to this team. Jones grounds out second to first, and he's hit 15 home runs for them now.
Wasn't it? It was spring training of last year that he made the team coming out of spring because of the work that he did. He had like 10 home runs in spring training. But you're right, earlier this year, they just cut ties with him.
Yep. They topped the American League in home runs by quite a margin over Toronto. Well, Nelson Cruz, who leads the majors in home runs, is up here.
This is vintage Baltimore Oriole baseball. Pitch well, which they've done this year, and hit homers.
Back at third, nice pickup. Rodriguez with a low throw and a nice pickup on the first base side of the diamond as well.
Thank goodness. I mean, this is where a guy like James Loney that has such a good glove over there at first base can just save you so many errors. Good stop here by Sean, and then he just, well, that's a tough throw to handle. You can see James Loney sitting back and getting low to the ground to get the best possible read.
You know, Rodriguez has a great arm, but what that shows you is how difficult it is to play all the different positions, and guys who do it well, you really marvel at them. He can play second base, you can put him in short or third, but it's a different throw, and sometimes that throw from third gets a little shaky.
That's what has plagued Sean Rodriguez when he's been over there. You know, you play him at second base, he's played first, play the outfield. I mean, you can move this guy everywhere, and he does have a great arm. Sometimes it can be a little scattershot, and so when he's making those long throws from short or from third, that stuff can happen. That's where it helps to have a James Loney sometimes to bail you out.
The strike and the count is 1-2. I mean, you think about how valuable a guy like Loney is right there. That sets up an entirely different inning now. They've already scored 3. That ball skips by the first baseman. You got a guy in scoring position with only 1 out.
Right on.
They're going to go to town again.
That's it. That's absolutely right. That's not just an out. That saves basically what would have turned out to be a double.
Yep. And it might turn out to save the game on that one play by Loney on the throw over from third.
I'm not going to be that aggressive, but I like what you're thinking.
Well, it's a 2-run game. It could be a 5 or 6-run game if you put a guy at second with only 1 out. Bigger hill to climb, tougher to climb.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And to a pitcher that's already given up 2 bombs, and you know, a young guy.
Still 1-2 to Delmon Young.
It's a completely different look for the Rays because of the promise to Desmond Jennings and Kevin Kiermaier, and you've got a whole different look here. Zobrist out in center. Myers is getting the shot back out in right. You've got Forsythe out at second. He's a tremendous defender, but Rodriguez at third.
Delmon hanging in there, fouling off another pitch. Delmon extends this at bat. 8 pitches now with a 1-2 count to Delmon Young. One more time out of play. Rays scored an unearned run in the top of the inning. The Orioles have answered with 3 on back-to-back home runs in the bottom of the third. It's just missed. Quite an at bat by Young. 10 pitches deep right now. Hot shot past the diving Rodriguez. So on the 11th pitch of the at bat, Young hits the ball sharply into left.
The Orioles, this second time through the lineup, have taken advantage of a couple of changeups from Odorizzi. Here's another one. Watch him wait back on it. Jake throws that in the strike zone because it was a full count. And Delmon able to hit that ball hard enough to elude the dive of Sean Rodriguez. Good effort. That ball was just stung.
J.J. Hardy, the shortstop now. He popped to first in the second inning. He's 0 for 1. He takes ball 1. Balls, no strikes.
And this is the one thing that you can't have as Jake Odorizzi start to lose his command and pitch from behind. This is the wrong lineup to be giving them. They're tough enough when you're pitching from out in front, but 2-0, 3-1s, get me over type pitches do not work well against this offense.
2-0 to Hardy. He takes a big rip, and you can see why there. These guys get ready to tee off when they're ahead in the count.
Yeah, these are swings with mean intentions, looking to do damage.
Three balls and a strike. Well, it's starting to be a long inning here for Odorizzi. 28 pitches in this inning so far.
And you're starting to see pitches up in the zone and not by design.
Liner into left. Right there is Matt Joyce to make the catch. Back-to-back home runs for Baltimore. A 2-run home run by Nick Markakis. Snaps an 0 for 21. Home run by Steve Pearce makes it 3-1. Time now for you to tweet your photo using hashtag SunSports FanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast brought to you by AT&T. Matt Joyce in the box to lead off the fourth, which is too low from Tillman. So the Rays with some ground to make up, trailing by 2. Balls, no strikes.
They've shown the ability in the past to be able to put pressure on Chris Tillman, have some good games against him. have some guys with good numbers off of them. You're going to need them to step up.
Well, Joyce is one of them, and he's ahead in the count 3-0.
Very similar to the first at bat, 3-0, then the shift, then 3-1, and then a ground ball to Hardy.
And he walks this time. So base on balls to start the inning, and that's the last thing the Orioles wanted to do after taking a 2-run lead. And we'll take a look at this matchup between Evan Longoria and Chris Tillman.
And this is why. I mean, you're now one pitch away from potentially tying this game up. That is some serious damage off Chris Tillman. 13 for 30, 5 home runs.
And he takes a strike. 5 home runs. 3 out of 6 coming into the game so far this year with a home run.
You want to see those swings that we saw in that series in Toronto. Those aggressive, decisive swings.
Down now 0-2. Yeah, the home run he hit there in the first game of the series was frankly exciting because he hadn't hit a lot of home runs on pitches in that he used to turn on. And boy, he really did turn on that one against Marcus Stroman. He's a hard throwing young right-hander.
Yeah, I think that pitch was 94, 95 in and up. And that's right. That, you know, a lot of the balls that Evan has pulled this year with authority have been off speed or the mediocre fastball. But those good fastballs, 93, 94, 95, middle in, we haven't seen that. So you kind of were like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And then he continued through the rest of that game to swing an aggressive bat. I mean, his swings were just, let's get this done.
And you still wonder if he could find himself doing that 2 or 3 times in the span of a handful of games, what difference that would make in terms of confidence in his whole approach.
Yeah. Yep. And he's been searching for it all season long. Now the production, you know, has gone up. 33 games since the All-Star break. He's driven in 28. Much better pace than he was before the All-Star break. And you see the swing in bits and, you know, pieces just here and there. But you'd like to see that consistently, and I think you're right. That would. It's an aggressive mindset. It's an aggressive swing, and that'll lead to confidence and even greater production.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Tillman trying to be careful, mindful of the matchups that he's had with Longoria.
That average has started to plummet in the second half. The production has gone up, so you're trying to find that balance, because those numbers right there, Evan Longoria is a better hitter than that.
And he goes for this one, out on strikes. First strikeout of the night for Tillman.
Well, that has got to be frustrating. A guy that you know you've had good success off of, and he just was able to overpower him with a fastball away. A little bit of elevation to it, not a ton. Just drove it right to its spot.
Now it'll be James Loney. Loney 3 out of 20 in his career against Tillman. Lifts it into center and going back a few steps now. Jones, and Adam Jones handles it. So 2 outs after the leadoff walk. Here's Will Myers. Breaking ball for a strike. third. Diving stop. Davis up. Not going to get him. Well, a great stop by Chris Davis, but Myers, for a big man, can move. They had no chance, and Myers has an infield hit.
You know, once Davis went for that dive, there was really not going to be a chance for him to make a play. Matt Joyce is 2 outs, is running on contact. He's hustling down to second. You're not going to get Myers in this situation. Well, you almost, if that gets to Hardy, and maybe he can fire it over and try to get Joyce, but that right there was the end of the play. Nowhere to go. And I think maybe if that ball gets to Hardy, he can sling it over to second, at least have a chance.
Logan Forsythe becomes the hitter with 2 men on and 2 men out in the 4th inning. Curveball, strike at the knees. Soft pitch in there.
There's a lot of similarities with these two pitchers here tonight. Outside of the changeup by Odorizzi, the slow curve, setting up the fastball that you can elevate. Tillman, Odorizzi both have some of the straightest fastballs you'll see from a starting pitcher.
That goes to 0-2 on Forsythe.
The difference is Jake Odorizzi can rack up the strikeouts like it's nobody's business. One of the top strikeout pitchers in all of baseball, where Tillman, that is not his game.
Joyce walked. 2 outs later, Myers reached on the infield single. First and second, 2 strikes on Forsythe. High fly ball center field. Jones will go back, still back, and at the track makes the catch. Well, Forsythe got a lot of carry on that one, and Jones kept after it. Rays lead 2, down 3-1. Bottom of the 4th, the Orioles lead this game. Raymond isn't around to help ignite a Rays rally. His gnome may be able to do the trick. The Raymond Rally Gnome, available only through the purchase of a Tampa Bay Times ticket tandem when the Rays take on the Red Sox Friday, August 29th. For tickets, visit RaysBaseball.com or call 888-FAN-RAYS. Jake Odorizzi touched for back-to-back home runs in the third, with Baltimore taking a 3-1 lead. In the fourth, it will be Chris Davis, Nick Hundley, and Jonathan Schoop. Long inning in the third for Jake. 29 pitches. Fly ball toward the line and left. That's going to be a foul ball, and Joyce can't catch up to it. With Davis up there, he struck out his first time. Joyce had a long run to make in left, but could not get there. Now Rodriguez from third goes to a deep second position. Forsythe in shallow right. Here's a high pop fly. Joyce coming in and makes the catch. That retires Chris Davis. Well, the Orioles figure they're going to need to get Davis going.
Well,
without Machado now.
Yeah. And think about the year he had last year. 50, was it 53? 54 home runs.
Remember how he started the year against the Rays?
11 runs batted in, I think, in that first series. 3 home runs. And he never slowed down all season long. And this has been completely different.
You know, this year he's gone from 260 the opening month and right on down. There's a high fly back into left center, and on the run there to make the catch, Matt Joyce, to retire Nick Hundley. And a nice running play in left field by Matt Joyce. But we'll take a look at the numbers year to year on Chris Davis, and it's astounding.
I mean, you just the drop off is
slugging percentage drop off.
Yeah, almost everything just cut in half or more.
He had 260 in April, 209 in May, 175 in June, 167 in July, and 149 in August so far.
You know what that tells you? That tells you how important your mind is and confidence. There's nothing physically wrong with Chris Davis, but those numbers tell you that there is something upstairs that's not firing on all cylinders right now, and the confidence is obviously sagging, and it has just continued to mount as the season has gone on.
Little roller to the right side and a long run. Forsythe throw to first. Safe. Boy, what an effort. What an effort by Logan Forsythe on the pickup. And to even get the throw away and make it as close as he did. Tremendous effort by Logan Forsythe.
Well, let's talk about that effort, Dwayne. This is where Logan Forsythe is right there, and he's got to cover all of this ground and then try to make a throw. That right side wide open. Schoop makes a bid.
Well, he should get some credit on maybe getting the guy at first on style points. I'll tell you, the form was great. Even the Russian judges would give him a 9.6 on that. Markakis taking a strike. Did he go? He held, says Lance Diaz. 1-1 on Markakis.
Yeah, he started aggressively. Let's see if he's able to hold up all the way.
Maybe not.
Maybe not is right.
Short center. Escobar out there and makes the catch. That takes care of the Orioles. We go to the fifth. 3-1 Baltimore. A little Boog's Barbecue out there. Camden Yards, right in front of the warehouse. In tonight's game and all season long, Tires Plus donates $100 to the Pediatric Cancer Foundation for every Tampa Bay Rays home run televised on Sun Sports. Rays got a run in the third. Baltimore got 3 in the third. Red Sox have taken a 1-0 lead in the fifth on the Blue Jays in Toronto. Rays start the night 2 games back of third place Toronto. So the Rays would like nothing better than to win this one and get a little help from the Red Sox and try to move up in the standings a little bit. Take another step toward third place. 1-0 the count to Escobar. Escobar led off with the infield hit in the third against Tillman. Line drive caught by the shortstop Hardy. That's the first out of the fifth.
Well, all you can do as a hitter, try to work a count, put a good swing on a pitch, and hit it hard. Escobar can check all of those off and get nothing to show for it because it was right at Hardy. Well, that's what these series afford you to do, Dwayne, to move up. They've got, this is part of a stretch of 26 straight games going into September, middle of September, against the American League East. Right now you've got a 4-game series against the team that is leading the American League East. These are your chances.
Yeah, it would be interesting. You know, you never know what happens, and you look back over a season, and I guess every team could do this, and look at a handful of games. If you'd only won this game, if you'd only won on that day, the difference it could make. And you know, you look at the Rays and where they are right now, 4 or 5 wins make a big difference. Another 4 or 5 wins coming into this series, they could have been 3 or 4 games out of first place behind Baltimore and really made this a big series. And it really turns on that few games.
It's so true, because the one thing that you don't ever see, you do not see the Rays get blown out. They don't get blown out. Look at the way that they've lost. Look at that road trip that they went on, the 10-gamer where they went 6-4. 3 of the 4 losses were extra inning walk-off losses.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way they lose games in excruciating fashion, because their pitching is so good, it keeps them in it so deep into the game, and so they lose games 4-3, 3-2. You never see them get their doors kicked in.
Well, right here's what we're talking about. Since June 11th, Orioles have played great baseball. They have the best record along with the Angels. The Rays, the only other team in the East that shows up in that.
Yeah.
So
right.
If they've been able to win 3 or 4 or 5 games along the trail, well, they come in here, boy, you've got quite a series going on.
Well, just like this, in the month of August, the Rays, if a game's been decided by 2 runs or fewer, the Rays are 3-9, losing the close games,
yeah.
And those are tough losses. Now, if a game's decided by 3 or more runs, they're 8-2.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't get drummed. You know, Detroit got them one time on that homestand, that 6-0 game, but even that was a close game until late.
Yep.
But boy, it's the close losses, and those are the ones that you think back on and you say, a hit here, a ground ball there, just not that happening.
I got you.
And so different.
Good curveball, 2-0 for a strike on Sean Rodriguez here from Tillman. Sean fouls it right back into the screen. It's 2-2. Yeah, so the Rays come in here now. Right now they're 10 games behind Baltimore. But if they'd won 4 or 5 games, you cut that in half and more. You got a 4-game series here. The Rays coming in at 32 left to play. Rodriguez called out on strikes. The Rays are done 1-2-3 in the fifth, down 3-1. Ball very well, and really only a couple pitches in this game have cost him, and right now he's down 3-1.
Absolutely. Early, he had that changeup working. Look at the depth on that pitch. A good one here. Then now you can take the fastball up and out of the zone to get a chase, but watch the next two. Uh-oh. That's kind of the contact that you get. Guess what? Happens again. Middle. Yeah. Right now, that's the difference in the game. Those two pitches.
So Jake goes into the bottom of the fifth facing Steve Pearce, who we just saw a replay of that home run he hit on a 3-1 pitch back in the third. Ball one. Jones next, and then Cruz. One and one. Hot shot off the glove of Juan Rodriguez. Pearce is aboard. Boy, Pearce, who has been so hot, is just stinging the baseball.
Yeah, that ball was. There was nowhere for Sean Rodriguez to go. This ball is just crushed. And you feel like a goalie there, not a third baseman. That gets on you so quick, and then off the thumb of that glove gets behind him. Well, the more looks that the Orioles have had against Jake Odorizzi, they've shown a little bit better patience on the changeup, been able to take a couple of those that they weren't the first time through the lineup. And any fastball that's been out over the plate, they're really starting to hit hard, even the ones that go for outs.
Pearce at first with the base hit. Here's Adam Jones.
This is where, as a young pitcher, that Jake Odorizzi has to realize, okay, they're starting to tune up the fastball a little bit when I leave it out open. They're getting a little bit more patient on the changeup. Now, okay, here's that slow curve. Let that come back into their minds and use it to set that changeup up. You know, this is why you have that pitch. You know, he's continued for the most part to stay fastball changeup. You might want to get him off that right now.
Pitch up and in to Adam Jones. 1-1. He has a very aggressive hitter up there now in Jones. Fouls this one back. It's a ball, 2 strikes. Molina with a little conference going on. Odorizzi and Molina. Cruz on deck. Well, Jones, one of these hitters who wants to swing the bat so badly. And if it's anywhere close, he's in swing mode.
Yeah, you can. This is a guy that you can get to expand his zone here. Jake's got a couple of options to do that. You can climb the ladder with that fastball, but you got to make sure you get it up, or you can go with the changeup in this particular situation.
And a base hit up the middle off the fastball.
And guess what? That was about where you wanted to put it. Adam Jones, how he got on top of this, he's an aggressive swinger, but boy, oh boy, the mechanics of this swing different. Look at him get on top of that. That ball's letter high.
You know, you wonder what he would have done with Pearce had he got that pitch to him up there, because it was down in good hitting zone there for Pearce, but this one is where he wants the ball.
Absolutely. And I would have agreed with that pitch. I mean, we just talked about it. Elevate the fastball. If you put it up around the letters, you should be in good shape. Well, no, not there.
Now the Major League's leading home run hitter, Nelson Cruz, lines one into left for a base hit. Bobble out there by Joyce, and now they're going to wave the runner home. Pierce scores to make it 4-1.
Well, Bobby Dickerson was holding Steve Pierce up until that ball came dislodged. It got out to Joyce so quick that they were just going to keep the bases loaded. Watch how quickly this gets out there. Got to hold him up. Nope. Not restart those engines as that ball comes loose. And I'll tell you something, there has been a lot of loud contact. Balls hit hard. That ball screaming by Sean Rodriguez. The line drive on the elevated fastball back up the middle. That ball was stung. Really got to get him off the fastball changeup. And that slow curve could come in so handy right here.
Delman Young. Ray's going to make an appeal play at third. Wondering if Pierce missed the bag and all the excitement.
Well, let's take a look. That was an appeal. He stepped in the middle of the bag.
Here's Delman Young, and the pitch is a strike. So the Orioles now have 9 hits. Joyce on the bobble out there. Charged with an error. 0-2 to Young. 3-run deficit right now in the 5th.
Boy, you got to try everything to keep it there. Just cannot allow them to continue to add on. But Baltimore showing no signs of slowing down.
And Young fouls that pitch off, darting out of the zone, but that doesn't make any difference to Delman Young. When in doubt, swing. He had an 11-pitch at bat. In the 3rd, he got down 1-2 and eventually singled. Takes it too tight. Now 1-2. Hits his bat, goes foul. The ball into the Baltimore dugout. Rizzi starting to push 90 pitches here. 88 right now. Ball 2.
Yeah, see, they're not biting on that as much as they were. Well, as much as we see teams against Jake. That's the one thing that you can bank on with his starts. You're going to see more chases of a 90, 91 mile an hour fastball up in the zone than you'll see with anybody else. But right now, when Baltimore's going up there, for the most part, they're either taking it or hitting it hard, fighting it off.
What Delman continues to do. Kirby Yates moving about in the bullpen.
Jake, he's staying away from the slider. He's staying away from the slow curve. He's eliminating pitches on his own now. He's become, in this start, a 2-pitch pitcher.
And a high fly ball hit deep to left. That one will go. Delman Young unloads the 3-run blast.
You can call into question some of the locations of these pitches, and you can't get away from that. However, when you're going after a lineup that's as powerful as these guys are, and really you've narrowed it down to just being a 2-pitch pitcher, you leave very little margin for error. And every mistake is magnified, and every mistake has been hammered.
3-run home run off the split change. It's 7-1. First pitch to J.J. Hardy is a strike.
And I know that as a pitcher, you take full responsibility for the pitch that you throw. But this is where you need some help from your catcher. You've got a veteran catcher back there, Jose Molina, that's got to say, hey, let's get off the fastball changeup. It's not working. They're starting to take good changeups. They're spitting on those. They're tuning up the fastball. Let's start to see a slow curve just to get them off of that. We can always go back to it, but you need to come up with something else. And a lot of times for a young pitcher, the game starts to speed up a little bit, and that's where you need a little help. And they've just have not gone to those pitches. I don't understand why.
Well, in theory, that's what veteran catchers are for.
And sometimes you're out there just thinking of making pitches, fastball, changeup. These are my two main guys, but you got to remember, you've got two other pitches. Saw a couple sliders early.
This 2-2 pitch drill to center field, and that one is out of here. It's a 5-run inning. For the second time in this game, the Orioles have hit back-to-back home runs. That's number 8 for Hardy.
Now Jake has left himself no margin for error. Right now, this lineup is going up there. It's either a fastball or a changeup, and if you make a mistake, this is what's happening.
J.J. Hardy belts the home run. The Orioles have scored 5 in the 5th, and Joe Madden goes to the mound to make a change. 4 innings plus for Odorizzi. And 4 home runs, and he leaves trailing 8-1. Well, this shows you with this Baltimore lineup what can happen if you aren't as creative as you need to be.
Yeah, and you know we hit on it enough. I hate to beat a dead horse, but the fastball changeup combo, which has been so good for Jake Odorizzi, you could see tonight that Baltimore was onto it, and that's where the slow curve and the slider come into play, and those pitches need to be mixed in just to get them off of the two main guys.
Well, we saw early in the year when he started to make his move, not only was that changeup developing, but he introduced that slow curve. It gave his game another dimension.
That's right.
We maybe saw one tonight.
I remember one. I remember vividly one, and that may have been it.
And I think your point is right. He's a young pitcher. You got a veteran catcher. It'd be nice if he helped him.
Throw him a bone.
So here's Chris Davis. And the first pitch from Kirby Yates is inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Davis 0 for 2. 2-0. Safe to say that the Orioles, who struggled against the Cubs offensively, have broken out of that in a big way. And now here's Chris Davis powering one, and that's going to get out of here. 3 consecutive home runs by Baltimore. It's 9-1. Nobody out here in the 5th.
I spoke too soon, saying that this team, you just don't ever see them get blown out. Well, they're well on their way at this point.
Number 22 for Chris Davis. 1-0 the count on Nick Hundley. Check swing and a roller right side. Yates going to have to go to first. The throw behind him. That goes into the Baltimore dugout and will give Hundley second base. So an infield hit for Hundley and a move up on the error. Will be charged to Loney.
Well, with the shift, you see Loney has to go all that way to make the play, and if he turns and makes a good throw, then they're going to get that out. But the spin, the throw kind of pulled the throw with him behind Yates. Not a pretty inning for the Rays, to say the least.
Yeah, nobody out yet. Here's Jonathan Schoop. 13 hits for the Orioles. Schoop has 2, and there's a strike.
13 hits is what they had for the weekend in Chicago. They've done it tonight in about an hour and a half.
4+ innings. Hundley on second. Oh, 2. Seven men have come to the plate. 6 have scored. And there's a strikeout of Schoop for the first out. So Schoop, the first out, with Hundley in second. And now Nick Markakis will be the 9th man to come to the plate.
Well, there will be days like this. Jake Odorizzi will recover. He'll be just fine. It's just one of those games you run into a team that is long overdue to have a blow-up type game. Just unfortunate the timing of it.
To strike to Markakis. Well, he started it all when he broke the 0 for 21 in the 3rd inning with a 2-run home run. Pierce followed with a home run. 2. Upstairs. 1 and 2. Now the other way.
You got to figure Kirby Yates going to get an opportunity here to log some time out there. The Rays try to piece the rest of this game together.
Yeah, you don't want to utilize your entire bullpen on the first day in of a 4-game series. Well, this one is foul out of play, holding the count. And a ball and 2 strikes. Orioles with 6 runs here in this inning. Rays gave up a 5-run inning to the Tigers in that 6-0 loss at the Trop on the 20th of this month, 5 days ago. But this is the biggest inning the Rays have afforded an opposing team this year. Still 2-2 to Markakis. 3 home runs in this inning and 6 runs.
Well, a team that had been struggling with the bats, that is very powerful. They lead the major leagues in home runs by a wide margin, wider now. And you had a young pitcher out on the mound that wasn't as sharp as we've seen him, and then the double whammy, he became predictable.
Runner at second with 1 out, 2-2 to Markakis. Now it's a full count. 3-2, breaking ball is up. Steve Pearce on deck. Pop up, foul ball. Loney's after it with room, and he makes the catch. 2 outs. Now the 10th man will come to the plate. Steve Pearce started this inning. Kirby Yates trying to get him to end the inning. A strike, a fastball on the corner away from Pearce. One and one.
Just want to get these guys off the field, take a deep breath. This has been a long, drawn out inning. has not gone well. Baltimore's blown this game wide open.
You know, something the Rays, as we mentioned, was the biggest inning they've suffered through this year, so they're certainly not used to this kind of pounding against their pitching. Great stop by Sean Rodriguez. He'll one-hop it in and out the call at first by Pat Hoberg over there. And Buck Showalter is going to come out. Showalter not so sure. Sharply hit ball by Pierce. And Buck Showalter wants to talk this one over with Pat Hoberg.
And you know, naked eye from up here, it looked like they got him. It was close. Buck's going to wait for word. Sean Rodriguez, this time he bounces this on purpose. Low throw, let it skip. Yeah, they got him. Well, unless, you know what, maybe what they're looking at is Loney's back foot. Does it come off the bag? No. That is it.
So Showalter agrees. It is the final out. We're headed into the 6th now with a 9-1 ball game. The Rays have given up a season's high 5 home runs in this game through the first 5 innings, and Nick Markakis started it in the 3rd with a 2-run blast. Pierce followed. Tillman Young hit one. J.J. Hardy hit one in the 5th. And Chris Davis greeted Kirby Yates with a home run on a 2-0 pitch in the 5th. And the Orioles have taken command of this one, leading 9-1, out hitting the Rays 13-2 through the first 5 innings of this series.
Well, your only hope right now is that Chris Tillman's got a little bit of rust. He had to sit for an awful long time before going back out there.
Well, Brandon Guyer is going to pinch hit here for Ben Zobrist. And the first one is a strike. Ben leading off tonight, playing center field, and now Guyer will take over for him in the 9-1 game. And a base hit lined out of the reach of Hardy. Brandon Guyer's aboard. So there's a base hit for Guyer.
Step right in, probably. And Brandon Guyer not figuring to get into this game, and if so, maybe later. Pressed into duty right now, and he responds.
Matt Joyce walked in the 4th. Put it out to the shortstop Hardy on the first base side of second, his first time up. Ball, no strikes. Low 2-0. Shot foul up the right side. Three balls and a strike. So how close this was.
Yeah. Off speed down in the zone, and Chris Tillman's bringing it from way up high. Tall, works over the top.
Oh, that's a strike. Joyce was on his way to first. Thought he'd drawn the walk, but back he comes.
I think that he saw that in the same spot as the previous pitch, or at least the same height. And you could see he was right. That's where you get inconsistent strike zones. And that, as a hitter, you're like, look, if it's a strike, it's a strike. But I don't want to have to guess in that area of the strike zone.
Fouls it out of play.
And that's what makes it tough for hitters. It makes it tough for pitchers. If I know that I can go down in the zone and get a strike, and the next time it's not, well, if I need to make a big pitch, can I go there or can't I? And that's all the players ask for, is that consistency. Now, that being said, Jeff Nelson's a human being. There are mistakes that are made.
And there is ball 4. A couple extra pitches to get it. The Rays put 2 men on in the 6th inning. Celebrate your little slugger's birthday at Tropicana Field with the Rays birthday package. Call group sales at 888-FAN-RAYS or visit RaysBaseball.com to reserve yours today.
Well, so far the early returns say maybe there is a little bit of rust here with Tillman. 2 runners aboard. Listen, Orioles did it quick. Why can't the Rays put a scare into him?
Well, Evan Longoria is going to be up here, and one swing of the bat could make it a little different. Maybe give the Rays an idea that they could mount something in the way of a comeback here. They've got a long road to travel. 10 men to the plate in the bottom of the 5th and a 6-run inning for Baltimore. Jeff Nelson very helpful there. Nick Hundley behind the plate.
This isn't helping Chris Tillman either. He's like, come on, I want to get back on the mound and throw some pitches.
So now the equipment situation has been cleared up. Here's Evan Longoria. Takes it too low. Evan 0 for 2 tonight. Fly ball to right. A strikeout swinging. High fly ball, deep center. Jones will go to the track, to the wall. He makes the catch. Runners will tag, throw to second, out there, and they get a double play. You've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. Longoria hit it every which way but out of here. And Jones made a great catch. And now the double play as the runner's trying to move up, and Joyce is out at second base.
You know it's not your night when that goes down. Adam Jones robbing right here Evan Longoria of a 3-run homer, and then how about the strong, accurate throw to get Matt Joyce?
Look at that catch and the throw.
Going right for that left hand. Yes, they did get him. Wow.
So Geyer winds up at third. What a double play that was. And now the Orioles are going to go for the triple play by way of the appeal.
You know what? And I'll bet you, Buck Showalter, that was called to go for that appeal. And listen, the Rays tried to do it when Steve Pearce stepped right in the middle of third base, and that was just a little bit, you know what, we can do it too.
So Geyer is at third.
You can't tell here by where the ball is caught, but you'll at least see the start.
Well, he didn't leave until Scope was calling for the ball. So there you are. The pitch is down to James Loney. Well,
a little
something extra here tonight.
That's exactly right, because, you know, they did that appeal at third base. Steve Pearce, we showed it. He stepped right in the middle of the bag, and I think Buck Showalter's like, okay, I'm going to play some games. We'll play some games.
2-0 now, the count to Loney. How about that? How about the catch by Adam Jones, and then to turn it into a double play?
Yeah, to have the head screwed on right, thinking, first of all, just drifting back there, timing that leap, making the catch, coming off that wall, and then firing a P.
Well, here's the thing. You're in a 9-1 game. I don't know about you, but I just saw something I've never seen before.
Yeah,
so even in a 9-1 game, look out. Chopped down to second for Scope. And the Rays do not score in the 6th. Boy, look at this catch. And the ensuing out at second base for the double play. Over the fence. Longo can't believe it. That's right. The Orioles have a 9-1 lead as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. You watch the Rays debut their retro road uniforms against the Cubs August 10th. And now you can own a piece of that game. Bid on MLB authenticated game used jerseys, pants, helmets, and more. All proceeds benefit the Rays Baseball Foundation. Visit RaysBaseball.com/auctions to place your bid. Brandon Guyer hitting in the top of the inning for Zobrist, stays on to play center field. Jeff Beliveau will be the new pitcher for the Rays, making his 15th appearance.
Well, coming on to face this red-hot Baltimore lineup, he's going to find himself right in the thick of it. Starting here with Adam Jones and an opportunity to try to quiet them down a little bit. He's still got 3.5 games left with him.
Adam Jones gets a great hand from this crowd for that catch.
This is the old baseball cliche. And it does not involve your Torrealba.
Always works out. A guy makes a great play and he leads off the next inning. The symmetry of the game. So here's Jones. High foul, out of play. Straight. Look at that great catch.
The timing.
That wasn't enough. They turned it into 2.
Look at that throw. And how about Scope getting the tag? He had to come from the other side of the bag and then find the left arm of Matt Joyce. But there's the start.
Something to be fired up about if you're Adam Jones right there. Oh, 2. Jones 2 for 3 on the night. Singled in their 6-run 5th and scored a run. Beliveau strikes him out. Jones still gets a great hand. Make a play like that, you can strike out, they still applaud.
That's
How
right.
about that?
Got some political capital there to work with.
Yeah, that was really something. Here's Nelson Cruz. Well, by the end of the 5th inning, every hitter had at least a hit in this Baltimore lineup. Cruz fouls it back. And 8 of the 9 hitters had scored. You know you're in trouble.
Big.
And that's the case
Big.
at the end of 5. 0-2. Well, the Orioles had been looking for a breakout game, and for the Rays, highly unusual to run into a game like this. The ball will not be caught out of the range of Myers.
Yeah, and certainly not the game that you wanted to have in the middle of this, well, not middle, but to start off this all-important series.
Yep.
4 games against the team that is leading the division. You want to make a statement in that first game. You want to set the tone. You want to have a great performance, and so far you've laid an egg.
Cut to miss. Cruz is out on strikes. Back-to-back strikeouts for Jeff Beliveau. And it still goes back to how frustrating the game can be. It's a great game to follow and watch and play. But boy, it can be frustrating. And the Rays, who had such high hopes at the beginning of the year and then struggled in the early stages of this season, really dug themselves an 18-game under 500 hole from which they tried to escape. And that being the case, you could still identify 4 or 5 games that if the Rays had been able to hang on and win a game, again, they would have come into this series with a legitimate shot at pushing the Orioles. As it now stands, and Ben Zobrist said it today, all these games are must games now if the Rays have any chance at all, and it's a long shot for sure. But the players can't play like that.
No, you just got to come out, make sure that you're prepared, make sure that you're well rested, high energy, and just come out and play the game hard. That's all you can control is preparation and effort. And that's what these guys, and that's why you know ultimately they'll bounce back. This is a resilient group from what they endured earlier in the season. Never lost hope, never lost the faith that they were a better team than they were showing. They've turned that around. We saw the numbers, the record since June the 11th, and what they've done. And so they'll, tough game here tonight. We'll see how it ends up. They'll bounce back strong tomorrow. And this one still isn't even over. They got 3 cracks out of left.
2-2 the count on Delman Young. Boy, he has seen a lot of pitches tonight.
Yeah, and that's typically not his game. He sees less pitches per plate appearance than Adam Jones, if you can believe that. Well, tonight, working some at-bats.
This is the 30th pitch he's seen tonight, and the count is full, and he doesn't have 4 plate appearances completed yet.
I think that may push his average up over Adam Jones then. He may now see more pitches.
Slicing toward the corner will be fair. Myers plays the hop. The throw in is not in time, and a double for Young. He's been on base 4 times now.
Wow. Now the pitch is away. Delman Young stays right on it. Able to power that down into the corner. A double, and then come out of this game.
Well, that's a nice work for Delman Young. He saw 31 pitches tonight and now leaves. David Lowe will run for him at second base.
And right now he's saying, listen, I had a chance at a triple. Could have had everything.
Yeah.
A walk, a single, a double, a home run.
I haven't checked recently, but last time I checked, no one has hit for the cycle this year. I don't think there's been a cycle in the game this year. And if that's the case, that will be the first time, I think, since the mid-'80s. Since like 1983. J.J. Hardy takes a strike, so they're going to deny Delman Young a chance for the cycle.
He was going to get at least one more at bat, you would think. Bottom of the 6th, a chance you may not hit in the bottom of the 9th, but you got the 7th and the 8th. And he could have done it with a walk on top of it.
Strike 2 to Hardy. Two outs. Lowe, the runner at second. Oh, Kadire hit for the cycle. So we do have a cycle this year. It was just the other day. Fly ball, center field, right center, and it's going to be Geyer to get there to make the catch. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. 9-1 Baltimore.
The Orioles leading the Rays 9-1. Will Myers with an infield hit his last time up. Prior to that, though, his first at bat got behind in the count, ended up making it out. He seems like he's been 0-2 and 1-2 a lot since coming back from AAA Durham. We asked him about that before the game.
When it gets down with 2 strikes, they made some good pitches on me. Obviously, I need to protect in those situations, but made some good pitches. But the biggest thing is with my 2-strike approach is to not get to 2 strikes. So that's what I'm working on.
That's your 2-strike approach?
My 2-strike approach is not to get to 2 strikes. That's a common thing in baseball. It's not even that funny.
The funniest part of all that, and it was very funny the way it played out, was we go and do the Cobb interview after the Will Myers interview, circle back to Myers' locker, and he still says, I really don't understand why that was funny. And I said, you know what's perfect, Will? The fact that you don't understand why it's funny makes it so much funnier, so stay exactly the way you are.
Amen.
Yeah. Why do people care about his shoes?
Today he didn't feel like the black shoes.
No. Well, they weren't handy. Whatever shoes happened to be at the front of the locker, putting them on. There you go.
2-strike approach.
That's part of his 2-strike approach.
Just not get there.
Yeah. Not to get to 2 strikes. Pops it up. Foul ball. Pierce from first makes the catch. Well, he didn't get to 2 strikes, and he fouls out to the first baseman, Pierce. We mentioned the cycle, just checking on Delman Young. He has at least 10 triples in his career. So you could make an argument he had a shot. He had 10. And Michael Kadire, who hit for the cycle, came off the DL, hit for the cycle last week, and then went right back on the DL for the 3rd time this year.
Wow. That's a frustrating year. On and off that disabled list. Not enough to go once.
Logan Forsythe looks at a strike. Rays scored first, but the Orioles have scored 9 since then. 1-1 to count on Forsythe. Run the Rays got in the 3rd off Chris Tillman was an unearned run. One ball, 2 strikes.
And that's when you thought maybe it was going to be the Rays' night, because Baltimore is so good defensively. They were sloppy in that inning, and that allowed the Rays to put them in a position to score that run. But boy, they just slugged their way out from there. Didn't miss too many mistakes.
It's Davis with a long throw right on the money to get Forsythe. 2 outs in the 7th inning. Learn about healthy eating with the Matt Moore plate and cup set and divided plate. Shows kids what to eat during a meal, presented by Fresh for Florida Kids, and will be given to kids 14 and under while supplies last when the Rays play the Red Sox Sunday, August 31st. Call 888-FAN-RAYS or visit RaysBaseball.com. Janelle Escobar. Ground ball shortstop. Flag down by Hardy. Long throw. And it's dug out by Pierce. And the Rays are up and down 1-2-3. An 8-pitch inning in the 7th for Chris Tillman. And some outstanding defensive work. 9-1 Baltimore. Sun Sports is brought to you by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop ChooseNissan.com. By the Florida Department of Transportation, who reminds you to drive sober or get pulled over. And by Wesley Chapel Toyota and Wesley Chapel Honda, home of the lifetime warranty. I-75 North, exit 279. Bottom of the 7th inning rolling around in Baltimore. The Orioles taking control of this game in the 6-run 5th inning. It's now 9-1. They go to Rizzi charged with 8 runs in 4+ innings. Kirby Yates gave up a run in 1 inning. Jeff Belival a scoreless 6th inning, and now Cesar Ramos is on for the 37th time.
You can see 7 of them starts, 2-5 record, and he gets an opportunity here.
Chris Davis takes the first pitch. That's a strike. Davis hit his 22nd home run of the year to center field in the 5th inning. One of 3 consecutive home runs hit by Baltimore. Rays have given up more home runs in this game than any game this year, and they have given up more runs in any single inning than they have allowed all year. 6 runs in the 5th.
Now that's what opposing managers fear in playing this Baltimore lineup, because that's what they're capable of. Their game is built on big innings, power, and we saw them all come together tonight in that 5th inning.
They sent 7 men to the plate in that inning before there was an out. Breaking ball wide, 2-2. Still a 2-2 count. Chris Davis came into this game with 155 strikeouts, leading the American League, and struck out in the 2nd inning, giving him 156, which ties him with B.J. Upton for the most strikeouts in the major leagues this year. Full count. Full count to Davis. Big cut, a foul ball. Hundley will be next, and then Jonathan Scope due up. Caesar, the 4th Rays pitcher tonight. And he walks Davis.
Well, a huge deficit left on left. A guy who's struggled mightily at the plate does have a home run in tonight's game, but struggling from the plate, you do not want to see that. That's a close pitch. in off. Molina trying to help out.
You know, you were talking about the firepower that this Orioles team can show you, and they've certainly done that tonight. This is a typical game in that they have all these runs and all these hits and all these home runs, and that's only the second walk they've drawn tonight.
That's about right. I mean, this team came into play, goodness, 14th in the league. 309 walks now total.
Hundley taking a strike. And the other thing that's so incongruous, up until that walk by Davis, the only walk drawn was by Delman Young. It's one of those nights.
It is. It really is just one of those nights. When you play 162 of anything, there are outliers.
Yep.
This is an outlier.
Yeah. Well, Delman still holds the Tampa Bay Rays record for most at-bats in a single season. In 2007, he had 645 official at-bats, which gives you the idea that he wasn't walking much that year either.
No siree.
1-2 the count on Hundley.
Well, and he sees about 3.5 pitches per plate appearance. This team is at just under 3.8, 3.79. That's third fewest in the league.
Yeah, he saw almost 8 pitches per plate appearance tonight.
How about that? Another, again, with the outlier.
Yep.
That's the theme tonight.
2-2. Just when you thought you had the game figured out, comes this one.
We just never knew what direction we were going to go with it.
Yep. We'll take you there.
Yeah.
Tapper foul.
Yeah, because you come into this game, you look at what Baltimore did against the Cubs, which was nothing. 13 hits in the series, 4 runs in the series, only 9 at-bats with a runner in scoring position, struggling, and the Rays pitching staff throwing the ball so well. Best ERA since the All-Star break. Starters ERA the last 17 or 18 games is about 1.5.
And there's strike 3 called on Hundley. Well, you certainly would not have expected what we've seen here. Tomorrow MLB returns to Fox Sports 1. Twins head to Kansas City to battle the AL Central leading Royals, looking to continue their strong push for the playoffs. Coverage begins at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Scope swings through the pitch, strike 1. Kansas City batting in the bottom of the 7th, trailing the Yankees tonight 6-1. Kansas City started the day 2 games up on Detroit in the American League Central. There's a strike. 1-2. Tigers pick up play tomorrow night at home against the Yankees. Depending upon the outcome of the Yankees-Royals game in Kansas City tonight, Tigers will be down a game and a half or 2.5. Right now, the trend is a game and a half.
Yeah, and you know what? The Yankees have been playing well. They're going to go out there, face a Royals team. James Shields made that start tonight. There's some interesting races starting to heat up. What's going on out west with the Angels and the A's?
Ground ball. Escobar, nice play at second for 1, over to first. Safe, nice pickup by Escobar, and the feed to second to Forsythe to get Davis.
Yeah, and the timing, you looked at on the throw there by Forsythe that just took a little bit too long. This ball was certainly hit hard enough. Escobar gets rid of it quick, and then Forsythe's throw just not quite in time.
Nick Markakis. The thing that gave you hope for the double play there is that Scope hit from the right side.
Yeah. Yep.
Forsythe takes care of Markakis. 7th inning is over. We head into the 8th. 9-1 Baltimore. Welcome you back to Camden Yards, Oriole Park, where the Rays and the Orioles move into the 8th inning, the first game of this 4-game series. 4-game series, a long series, and for the Rays this has been a long night after the 5th inning when Baltimore scored 6 times. They hit 3 consecutive home runs in the 5th by Delman Young, J.J. Hardy, and Chris Davis after hitting back-to-back home runs in the 3rd by Nick Markakis and Steve Pearce. Darren O'Day will take over. Chris Tillman working the front 7, and now it's O'Day.
Well, and look at that sterling ERA of .95, 56 and 2/3 innings, 60 strikeouts. You know, the top 15 ERAs for relievers, Baltimore has 3 of them. Darren O'Day obviously one of them. They have the ability to really shorten games, much like the Rays pen does when it's going good.
Jose Molina takes the pitch wide. Molina 0 for 2 tonight. Sean Rodriguez will be next, and then Brandon Guyer. Call 1-1.
How about the night for Chris Tillman? Had to endure that long wait. Really didn't lose a whole lot. Threw the ball well. Was efficient.
Just 1 unearned run tonight. But Tillman was back and forth. They got him in the Seattle deal. What a deal that turned out to be. Eric Bedard sent to Seattle, and among others Adam Jones and Chris Tillman to Baltimore. They really liked Tillman in the deal. Took him a little while to get here, but a little over 2 years ago he came back from the minor leagues. He went 9-3 last year, 16-7, and today started this game 10-5. And Adam Jones, Gold Glover, All-Star, We saw his defense and a couple of hits and runs scored tonight. Took a home run away from Evan Longoria in the 6th inning and turned it into a double play on an attempt to advance from first to second base. Count still 1-2 on Molina. Sean Rodriguez. Scoops, and Molina is out of there. One gone in the 8th. As promised earlier, we have the AT&T fan photo of the game. Tweet your photo to #SunSportsFanPhoto for a chance to be shown in an upcoming game broadcast brought to you by AT&T. Sean Rodriguez. One ball, no strikes. The Rays took 2 out of 3 from the Blue Jays to open this 7-game road trip, a 4-game series beginning here in Baltimore. Line drive into center. That's going to fall for a base hit. Jones knocks it down with the bare hand.
Well, that was
doing it all.
That's it. Part of him wanted to try to make a play right there, and then realizing he couldn't, just kind of slap that ball down. Guess you can have fun and goof around a little bit when you got a lead like this and you're making plays like he is.
Do whatever you want.
That's right. That's right.
One on with 1 out of the 8th. Here's Brandon Guyer. Waving and missing for a strike.
I'll say this, a game like this, just a thud, and you start to look towards the next ball game and how you're going to bounce back. One way to do that is the guy that's going to take the mound the next day, the guy that's going to go out there and set the tone. You'd like to have a mentally tough guy, a good competitor, be able to take the ball for you. And I don't know if the Rays could have picked anybody better than the guy they have going tomorrow night.
Yep, that's going to be Alex Cobb against Wei-Yin Chen. And Cobb will be looking for his 10th win of the year.
Yep. So they set themselves up for, if you're going to have a bounce back game, he's the guy to lead the charge.
A little chop to the right side. Scope again. So Guyer's out at first. Rodriguez goes to second. And tomorrow we'll hear from Alex Cobb on Rays Live. The pregame show is presented by your Gulf Coast dealer, your Gulf Coast Honda dealer. Alex will make the start. We'll hear from him. And look how good he's been over the last 10 starts. Hard to be much better than that.
No, well, perfect on the record, and an ERA just a touch under 2. He has found his groove. There is no question about it.
There's Matt Joyce, a couple of bases on balls drawn. 0 for 1 officially. Pitch is inside, 1 ball, no strikes. Foul ball right back, 1-1. A 9-1 ball game in the 8th inning. 2 of the 3 hottest teams since the 11th of June in this one, and the Orioles have dominated this game tonight. 1-2. The Orioles and the Angels since then 41-24, and the Rays a half game behind them, coming into play tonight at 40-24. Two and two. Aaron O'Day working the 8th inning. And the count goes to 3-2 on Matt.
Well, when you look at it, Darren O'Day has appeared in, what was that, 54 games. He's given up 6 earned runs, and they've come in 6 separate games, 1 in each. That's when you come out to that .95 earned run average.
And he strikes out Joyce. Braves get a hit, leave a man. We go to the bottom of the 8th. 9-1 Baltimore. Nine to 1 Baltimore as the Orioles bat in the bottom of the 8th inning. Fox Sports Supports is proud to collaborate with Stand Up to Cancer, a groundbreaking initiative created to accelerate innovative cancer research that gets new therapies to patients quickly in order to save lives now. For more information, visit foxsportsupports.com. Cesar Ramos worked the 7th out here in the 8th, and he faces Steve Pearce. Takes the pitch inside. One ball, one strike. Zach Britton in the bullpen for Baltimore. 1-2. Blue Jays scored 3 in the bottom of the 9th to tie the Red Sox 3-3. How about that?
How about that? How about Toronto? Another goofy ending. The Rays had a couple of interesting back end of the ball games up there in Toronto. Sounds like another one.
Pierce pops it up. Loney backpedals into right field and makes the catch. Well, that baseball showing in that big mitt. 1 out. Let's check in with Todd.
Hey, Dwayne, guess what? Coming up after the game is our Rays Live postgame show presented by Checkers. It will be hosted by you and BA. That'll be fun, and then I'll be down in the Rays clubhouse gathering interviews.
You know what?
Hey, wait. I do have a side story for you. I do have a side story. The Durham Bulls tonight defeated Gwinnett County 4-2, and in the process, they clinched the 2014 International League South Division title. Charlie Montoyo has been there 8 years, guys, with the Bulls, and that's his 7th title. So congratulations to the Bulls. And now, BA, whatever you want to say.
Congratulations to the Bulls. That's outstanding.
Yeah, and how great that is for Charlie.
7 out of 8.
Yeah.
Hey, getting it done.
So we're happy to hear that. Happy to get some good news.
Yeah.
Hasn't been all that good here for the Rays against Baltimore. Ryan Flaherty batting for Adam Jones. One strike to count on Flaherty.
You know what I want?
What?
I want some of Todd's energy because he came.
Oh, he was
had
fired
his
up.
hair on fire in that little hit. That's what I want. Especially because we're hosting the postgame show again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's great.
1-2.
Have lots to talk about.
Do we?
Well, yeah. We're going to have to cover that inning that Baltimore put together.
Yeah, that'll take a while.
That will take a while.
And our erstwhile host, where are they?
That I don't know. AWOL.
Pitch is too low, 2-2. I understand the paparazzi's following them around, though.
Well, maybe they can keep us up to date then.
Check swing and a foul ball. Base is empty with 1 out. Orioles have out-hit the Rays 14-4 tonight. 11 of those came in the first 4+ innings. And now Flaherty is called out on strike. Second strikeout for Cesar Ramos.
Breaking ball here by Caesar. Just freezes Flaherty. You see he had choked up on that bat trying to fight something off, put it in play, but not able to pull the trigger.
And here is Nelson Cruz. Singled and scored in the 6-run 5th. Breaks his bat, lifts a fly ball to left. Matt Joyce makes the catch. We are through 8. 9-1 Baltimore. Ninth inning. So we'll take a look at tomorrow's starters presented by Chevron. Alex Cobb after his 10th win against Wei-Yin Chen.
Tell you what, Chen's put together a nice little record there at 13-4, ERA 3.76. But Alex Cobb, and that's what you're hanging your hope on. The inning of hope tonight is the top of the ninth because of Alex Cobb going tomorrow and trying to turn this series around for the Rays.
A lot of changes as we go to the ninth. There's Chen. He'll be doing the pitching for Baltimore. The Orioles making some defensive changes. Chris Davis moves from third base to first. Now to third base, Flaherty, who pinch hit, stays on to play there. Pierce moves from first to left. Lowe moves from left to center. And Longoria steps in and shoots it up the right side, and that's a foul ball as he faces Zach Britton, the left-hander.
Well, you see here, Buck Showalter typically not going to go to Darren O'Day and Zach Britton in a game like this, but these guys haven't pitched since that White Sox series. It's been 5 days of inactivity, and you just don't want your two big guns at the back end of the bullpen to sit down there for that long without pitching. That's why you see them.
Evans takes a pitch down, and it's 1-1. Into center, and right there is Huff to make the catch. One gone. James Loney will be up against the left-hander, and Britton is a tough lefty out there with his stuff.
Boy, he can get the velocity up there, but the sink on the fastball is when he's throwing that with solid mechanics. You cannot believe the movement that he's able to get at that velocity.
Strike the count.
Not a huge strikeout guy, not for throwing 95, but you can just ground ball after ground ball, weak contact. You start to think about this bullpen with O'Day and Britton. They traded for Andrew Miller from Boston.
1-1, and they shored it up.
Yeah,
had a couple of pretty good arms out there to begin with.
A lot of different styles, and that's what you're seeing. A lot of these bullpens, the quality bullpens, going with a lot of different styles. Zach Britton, power lefty with great sinker. Darren O'Day, of course, the arm angle. Andrew Miller, lefty that's just all limbs with great stuff. Tommy Hunter right there. Good fastball.
Loney reaching is out on strikes. 2 gone in the ninth. So Will Myers, who had an infield hit back in the 4th inning, up here with 2 outs and the bases empty in the ninth. Takes a pitch for a ball. Well, we'll see how Will does with his 2-strike approach now.
Get it started early.
Yeah, not to get to 2 strikes. That's his 2-strike approach. There's the strike taken. It's 1-1.
Halfway there.
2-1. Shortstop. Hardy's throw. Scooped by Davis. This game is over. 1-2-3 go the Rays in the 9th inning. And the Orioles win in a big way. We'll be back with the totals in a moment.